Okay. Alright, sorry about that. I've been, by the way, let me know if you can hear it. Is it better now? Am I audible at all? Okay, yeah, sorry. I was running like a long chain of compressors while the garbage truck was coming. Like I was doing my best. And during that time, I had it set on monitor only. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and start the medley now. Thanks, Jaime. All right. I think that's it for the Medley. What is this piece called? What is that piece called? What is that piece called? See, I've forgotten most of this stuff. I guess we can get to the check-in point, and then I can actually talk about.
Checking in with you. It's time to check in with me too. I'm fine, I'm checking in with you. Checking in.
I think Lindsay's right that one never actually got like an official name. But there was like a tentative name for it. There was like a jokey tentative placeholder name, but I've forgotten it. I'm actually kind of like in the midst right now of relearning all of the Morning Medley songs. I don't know if anybody noticed this, but when I played what's it called? I can't even remember what it's called. Jumpin' Jaybird. When I played Jumpin' Jaybird, I kind of fell into it, and I was like, oh yeah, Jumpin' Jaybird, that's a thing. That's like a song that I know how to play. I completely forgot. And I'm sure there's like a lot of other songs that are still like underneath the dust that collected during the hiatus that I need to uncover still. Some of them I'm not confident enough to even be able to play without like fiddling around with them first. There's Liminality is a song that's so like problematic for me to play even on a good day for whatever reason. That's so difficult. Oh. Oh. Oh, I guess I do remember it. I'll get there eventually. Oh my god. Did we really? Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate this. Did we actually get all those? Thank you, Cyber. Okay. The entire keyword's now going to be full with them. We did get a Firo time though. I actually have to move. I actually have to move my body in order to. Where do you go? You'll be fine there. I'm so glad that Zia can't move. I'm so glad that Zia's trapped where Zia is currently. I actually had to water it last night. I'm getting a lot better at taking care of Zia, or at least noticing when Zia needs to be moved. Oh my god. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. This is fine. He's big. He can go over here. He can go over here. You're small. You can stay here. Oh my god, it's so hard, like reversing things. Okay. We gotta dapper up. The funny thing. Here's the funny thing. I need to get a. I need to get a. At some point, like a transition scene, so that you guys don't have to watch me tie a bow tie. Assuming I still know how to do it. This is actually kind of sad because I haven't this will be the first time me tying a bow tie in over a year. So hopefully I still remember. I haven't done it in a really long time. Does anybody in the stream know how to tie a bow tie? Or even a necktie for that matter. I've forgotten now how to tie a necktie, just because I don't really own any. A pothos? A pothos? Agnes is a pothos, I believe. But I can be wrong. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. As far as plants. It could be a weed, for all I know. Also, doing this not in front of a mirror is very difficult, so that's as good as I'm gonna get it. That's as close. And also, it's really funny because I just picked a bow tie at random, and I picked one that's like not, at least to me in my eyes, the distance I am from the monitor, it's not super visible on like the two patterns kind of just blend in with each other. But yeah, I do think it's a pothos, and if it's not. But anyways, this is the check-in segment. How's everybody doing? Is everybody good? It's Tuesday. Trash Man did come a little bit early. I don't know if you guys heard the second and third Trash Man when they came through, but a second Trash Man did come through during the stream. I tried to kind of just like, strong arm my way through it and just muscle my way through it so that it didn't interfere too much with what I was playing. But I mean, you tell me. I can't really hear from your guys' side. I don't even necessarily need to make that a reward, Lindsay. If maybe next time somebody redeems a Dapper Up, maybe I'll like Zoom or something and try to show you guys and try to do it as slow as possible. But it's a very simple process. Tying a bow tie, in my opinion, is a. No, don't say it's easier than a necktie. It's not easier than a necktie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's more difficult than tying a necktie, but it's very easy. It's a very easy thing to learn. Pothos are the only type I can keep alive. It's says Hodicus. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's simpler. It's simpler than you'd think. Tying a bow tie. I remember the first time I learned how to tie a bow tie, I thought that there was going to be a really complex knot involved. But when you figure out how the bow, when you figure out like just this bit, like when you figure out how the bow is formed, because the bow itself is not the knot. I don't want to get into it. I'll get into it later. But it's not. It's much more simpler than most people think it is. But yeah, hopefully everybody's doing okay. Tuesday. It is Trash Man Tuesday, so that happened. Also, it's Pizzanista Tuesday. So I get to eat pizza today. Yesterday, I had a tough day at work, but everything besides that, absolutely fine. Well, that's good to hear. That's a good thing. Oh my goodness. I think yesterday I felt a little sick, right? And I think not until the end of the night did I realize what did it. I for those of you that are in the Discord, which I think should be pretty much everybody that's in the stream right now. So for everybody that's in the Discord, you probably already know this, but I ordered a 12-pack of Surge yesterday, and it was good. It was very good. I just drank one of the cans. And I didn't feel it. Okay, so Cyber warned me and was like, don't drink more than one can a day. I didn't, by the way. I only drink one can. Cyber was like, drink one can. It's good to share and all this very well-meaning stuff. So I only drink one can of this soda. And I felt fine, like I had drank a can of Mountain Dew or something. But I think it hit my body later how much sugar was in it, is what happened. It hit my body later how much sugar was in it. It's good. It tastes great, and I love it. It tastes great, and I love it. But I also positioned it at a really weird time during the day. Yesterday, I pretty much spent 9-ish to 10 hours just on my computer, like, working. And I had Surge. I had a can of Surge. And then I didn't eat. And I think maybe the Surge's effect on my body was heightened by the fact that I hadn't actually eaten anything. And so drinking Surge on an empty stomach kind of spoiled my appetite, as silly as that sounds. I remember as a kid, people like adults saying something could spoil your appetite. And I thought that was just, a myth that people told children so that they would eat the things they wanted them to eat. But as an adult, yeah, like that Surge ruined my appetite. Like I wasn't hungry after it, so I just continued to not eat. And then even though I made some point is, I drank a can of Surge, and I think I learned a valuable lesson that I just need to chase it with a full meal, like medication. I proceeded with a full meal. I didn't. Whatever. Anyways, I worked pretty much all day yesterday, but it was good. It was chill and it was fine. I also developing the morning medley theme took a surprising amount of time. Surprisingly, thank you for the follow. I'm gonna say doubly. I'm gonna say dabble. I'm gonna say dibble. DBLE. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying it like it's a word. I want to say dibble. And if I'm wrong, you tell me. You tell me I'm wrong. I've been running into the working so hard I forget to eat, says Hodicus. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of my whole thing. That's the only, well, not the only reason, but that's one of the main reasons that I buy a lot of fruit. Because it's easy for me to have like a bowl of berries or something like that. I just kind of eat those while I'm working. I don't really buy a lot of like sweets, really like cookies, like solid sweets, but I did buy a 12 pack of Surge. By the way, this is not a soda household. Like I don't really buy soda. Um, my roommate doesn't really buy soda. There's very rarely soda in the house, so I think my body is also like having like a weird system shock drinking soda. Like I did order a 12 pack, but I think I only want like one or two more cans of this stuff. Um. Anyways, double two works. Okay, double two. That's easy to remember. Thank you. Um. Is there a reason why? By the way, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. Is there a reason why double two? Is there? Thanks, Cyber. I have to get rid of that ugly purple gift box. I hate it. It's hideous. It was just it was an oversight. I forgot. I forgot. I forgot to replace that one. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, why double two? I had a song called Double Dash at one point. You know the funny thing? Actually, not like Mario. I made my song Double Dash in 2000. I want to say 9, and it was just because I thought that songs that had like cool, fun, alliterative names were more catchy. Like people would remember them more. And nobody remembers my song Double Dash, so apparently I was wrong. But I also should say I did take it down from SoundCloud eventually because I took down a lot of my backlog from SoundCloud. Don't really need to get into that. Double Two says there were some sweets I loved called Doble, and I misspelled it. What's a Doble? I don't have my phone. Now I kind of want to know what that is. It sounds cool. It sounds like a Hostess thing. If only they do a Double Dash for this Switch, says Kid Techno, who loves Double Dash, I suppose. I don't know that I've played Double Dash, actually. I don't know that I've ever played it before, so I don't know. I've only played like 2 Mario Kart games. Whoa, I've only played 3 Mario Kart games. I played the really old one, the one that's super hard and sucks. And then I played Mario Kart 64 because everybody did. And then I played whichever one has Link in it. Like the most recent one, is it 8? Then I played that one. So 2 very huge jumps between the Mario. I'm not a huge Nintendo man, so usually I skip a lot of entries in like the Nintendo staples like Zelda, Mario, Pokemon, and whatnot. Before playing another one. Very rarely play them in any large amounts. But I do like Mario Kart 64 a lot for some reason. I don't think I've ever heard your Double Dash, says Liana. Yeah, maybe not. Liana, I was doing so yesterday, full disclosure, a lot of the work that I was doing, I would say out of those like 9 hours that I was working, a good 6 were spent on stream stuff, right? Like setting up stuff. And obviously it's still very like we're only two episodes into season 3, so obviously there's a lot of things that still need to be fixed. But I spent a considerable amount of time yesterday working on that stuff. And by the way, thank you, Cyber, for making that list. That was very helpful. But spent a lot of time working on stuff for the stream. And one of the things for the stream was I was making alerts, and I've really like dug my heels in on the Bon Bon melody, and I feel. Oh, I have to replace so many of these things. Thank you, by the way. Nagatumi Maru? Is that... Should I say the whole thing? Should I say something for short? Nagatumi Maru? The bits are tricky and dumb, says Cyber. Oh, sorry. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I spent several hours like working on the on stream stuff, and one of the things I was working on was the alerts, like the sounds for the alerts. But I think in general, I've like dug my heels in on that melody, and it's because it's from Bon Bon. I think I spent a lot of my musical career trying to escape Bon Bon. Now I've kind of like surrendered for the most part to that song. Naga works for me, baby. I've spent like some time now kind of just surrendering to Bon Bon being what it is. It is no longer my most played song, so I don't feel as dwarfed by it anymore. And if anything, it was arguably that Bon Bon opened up a lot of doors for me. I'll put it that way. For anybody in the stream that doesn't know what I'm talking about, Bon Bon's a song that I released in 2016. And it went on to, for the following years, be maybe like the most popular song I had made, for sure, no doubt about it. And then I spent a lot of time trying to bury it, because it was overshadowing my modern, like more current works. And I think in recent years, like the past year or 2 years, I have kind of like just leaned into it. I've allowed it to be what it is. And so taking the melody from it, the whole melody is... It's a long melody, but I took the first three notes from it and just turned it into initially the bump for my like quarantine videos. There would be one at the beginning and one at the end, and it was accompanied with the little like glove clap animation. And so yesterday I was like making alerts for like one for follow that uses those notes, and then I have a separate one for like subs that uses those same notes. But I made a bunch of different versions of it, like a version for follow and a version for subscribing and a version for like donations. And it's definitely not something that I needed to do or had to do. I probably could have just used the same one from the clap animation and then just like kind of copy and pasted it over all of the alerts, but I didn't. I maximalized it. I'm trying to get better about that. I had a long talk about maximalization. Oh my god, maximization, maximalism with somebody that I work with. That I've been accused of, and it's definitely something that I need to get a better wrangle on. Usually when I'm working on something, I will make so many versions of that one thing. I'll make so many versions of it, especially if it's a commission-based thing. And then when I'm going to the person, I'll present them with like 20 different versions of a thing. And I think as somebody, I talked about this a little bit in yesterday's stream, talking about buffing up the skill of service, being able to do commissions and stuff like that. And I think part of that skill set, honestly, is being able to edit yourself sometimes. Like, usually if somebody is commissioning me for something, it's a good skill or trait to have, to be able to kind of like cut the fat and just give them the good stuff, like maybe like 3 options or something like that. But I usually like roll in with like 10 plus options for people. And since I was making so many different like alerts, instead of deciding on one, I ended up making them maybe unique to different alert types. Anyways, it's a thing. Um, word. Thank you, Hodicus. Thank you for being in the stream. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. This fine Pizzanista Tuesday. This fine Pizzanista Tuesday. I can move this. I can move this back. I feel like they've gotten the time. They've gotten the time. Wait, which one had two? Which one had two? I have to get better at looking at them myself. One had two. And I feel like whichever one had two, I should leave up longer. Goodbye, Max. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be here. You can chill. You can chill, I think. I'll leave you up, though. I'll leave Pharaoh up. Oh, but other than that, everybody's good. Everybody's enjoying their week so far. It is March. We're in March now, which means my rent was due yesterday. Oh, I have yet to get used to how taking 2 days off the month of February makes the entire month feel like it's a week long. Every year February just flies by, and I'm already in March, and I'm about to come up on my quarantine anniversary, which is pretty dark and probably not something that should be celebrated, but yeah, a lot of us, myself in particular, did go into quarantine in March, and it's almost a year. I don't know the exact date it was. Hold on, sorry. Hold on. Could Jaime says they can't stop eating the IKEA cookies. Jaime, please tell me what cookie you're talking about. Please tell me what cookie you're talking about. This is important. It almost doesn't matter. A little bit of a disclaimer. It almost doesn't matter which cookie you're talking about because... Oh. Never mind. Those are actually okay. There's a lot, like, somebody who worked in IKEA, I've eaten everything in there. Like, a lot of everything in there. And so I kind of hate every food item that IKEA sells now. But there are two different types of cookie that I like. And there is a bun that they sell that's called a blank. It's not a cinnamon bun. It's a different spice. It's a different spice that's more popular in, like, Scandinavia. And I can't think of what the bun is called, but that's pretty good. None of the warm food they sell in IKEA is good. Never eat it. Try to never ever eat it if you can keep from eating it. Just eat before you go to IKEA. Naga says you just fixed my PayPal. It wasn't working for 3 months. Now it works again. What? Hope you're not talking to me. I didn't do anything. In fact, my PayPal is actually acting up lately. I don't know what's wrong with it. I just bought them on impulse and didn't expect them to be good. There's a thing in IKEA. Thanks, Wirt. Did that one have a sound attached to it? I didn't hear it. I heard the one before it. Anywho, there's a thing that they sell on IKEA, Jaime, called Drick. My pronunciation's gonna be really off. Drick Yolmust. It's like a special Christmas drink, and it tastes kind of like root beer and cough syrup, and it's horrible. But during my time working there around the holidays, I drank so much of it just because they had it for free in the break room, and all of the employees kind of hated it. And so at the end of the night, they were like, you can take these if you want. And so I just took them because they were free. There's so many things that I've consumed that I actually didn't enjoy just because they were free, and that's up there. I had to have drank gallons of that stuff. But it's only available in like late November through New Year's, I think. It's a Christmas drink. It's like eggnog. Eggnog is a thing that my dad likes a lot. And when I was a kid, I never really drank it because it looked so disgusting. It just looks horrible. And I think I had eggnog for the first time in 2000. I'll be able to remember the exact year, actually. 2013 is when I had eggnog for the first time. And I would buy like a little half gallon of it every year until 2019, I believe I didn't buy it. And then 2020 I didn't buy it because who was celebrating anything? So I didn't buy it for the past 2 years. But every year I'll buy a whole half gallon of it, drink one big cup of it, and love it, and then the gallon will spoil in the fridge because that's all I can drink. I feel like I run into the issue a lot, being just a guy, where there is a thing that I love, but they don't sell it in a guy's size. They sell it in a small family's size. Or I should say, I'm not even necessarily, it's not because I'm just like some bachelor living in a place where I eat the food and drinks that I buy. But particularly because I seem to have a very low tolerance for a lot of rich things. And so it's like, if I get like a package of cinnamon buns, I'll eat like 2 of the cinnamon buns and the rest will go bad. If I get like a dozen, I shouldn't be getting a dozen anything. Anyways, if I get like eggnog or I get some like sweet drink, it goes bad in the fridge. Like everything goes bad. I bought cinnamon frosted flakes. Cinnamon frosted flakes are amazing, by the way. Cinnamon frosted flakes, they're just everything good. And I love this cereal. And I bought a box of cinnamon frosted flakes because every now and then I get cravings for cereals. I mention it a lot. I think in the stream and in the Discord, I'm always just like, oh, I'm in the mood for cereal. And it happens so rarely that I actually go and buy the cereal. But I bought a box of cinnamon frosted flakes in 2000. When did I go to Korea? 2019. I came home and like that was all I could think about. I was just like, I can't wait to get home, go to a grocery store and buy cereal. Like that's what I want to eat so bad right now. You miss cereal sometimes when you're overseas. It's just not really that big of a thing most other. Anyways, point is, I came home, I got the cinnamon frosted flakes, and I had one bowl of it. And that box of cinnamon frosted flakes is still in the cabinet. And that was like fall 2019. I don't know how long cereal keeps for, but I'm pretty sure it's bad now. And it's just, I can't eat the entire box. I wish that they had, you know how they have those like little tiny boxes of cereal? Like the single serving sizes? I love those things. They have those, but they only have it in like the normie flavors, They have like Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, Cheerios. Maybe you'll get like an Apple Jacks, if that's still a thing. But like all the specialty cereals don't come in boxes that small. And so I hate buying cereal because it goes bad. I hate buying milk because I'll never be able to consume all the milk before it goes bad. That's why I like buying things like cheese. Cheese is so great. It's good forever. Well, not forever, but pretty freaking long time. Cheese has very seldom gone bad on me. Dude, go to Daiso, says Angsplosion. I love Daiso, but Daiso still doesn't sell like the cereals I like in those small servings. The one thing that Daiso has, and for anybody in the chat that doesn't know what Daiso is, it's a Japanese store. I wanted to say dollar store because a lot of stuff in there is really cheap, but it's not a dollar store. It's definitely not a dollar store. It's like it looks like a dollar store. You go in, lots of fluorescent lights and like bright pinks and purples and stuff, and it looks like a dollar store, but it's not. It's just a cheap Japanese convenience store that sells stuff like candy and pots and pans and sponges and nail clippers, and they sell a lot of stuff. Point is, I like going in there because they have small cutlery and like cookware. You can get like really tiny pots and pans, and I love that stuff. Like one of those little like pans that's just big enough to cook like one egg. There's 3 Daisos in my neighborhood. One of them has one of them has a very big wall of Calpico, which quite a few of you guys know I like to drink, and so I often go to Daiso just to buy Calpico or Calpis. 100 yen stores exist in Japan, says Word. I'm not wearing them right now, but there was a 100 yen store in Yokohama that had Argyle socks for 100 yen. And I bought the entire rack of socks. Just gray Argyle socks. Amazing. You can never find Argyle socks in America for $1. Anyway, so I bought all the Argyle socks I had. I pulled them up to the counter, and the person actually asked me if I wanted more, and then went to the back and gave me more. And I still am wearing those socks. In fact, there's like at least 2 or 3 pairs that I haven't worn yet. And it's because I'm so afraid. They're kind of thin, you know, like fancy socks. They're a little thinner. I'm kind of afraid of ruining them and getting holes in them so fast and then not being able to restock because it's some random store in Japan that doesn't have an online store. So I've actually been rationing them out to myself. Like I only wear 2 pairs, and as soon as those get kind of like worn out, I'll finally toss them out. And then I'll crack open a fresh pair of Argyle socks. I love those socks. Oh, word up, Naga. I guess Firo's just going to be up here for the entire rest of the stream then. Oh, but you're bringing back Agnes. Well, they're small. They're small. I live in a mostly Asian community, says Explosion, and they're like in every shopping center. Same here. Oh my god. Wait, are you talking about the Argyle socks? I also live in a mostly Asian community, and for some reason, I have never considered looking for the Argyle socks. You're probably right, though. They probably have them in a, like... I'm gonna go maybe to the... No, I have stuff I need to do today. I have to get pizza today. But, I'm probably gonna look pretty soon. They were perfect. I'll show them. Next stream and tomorrow's stream, I will wear the socks. Just so you guys can see the socks I'm talking about. I love these socks. I went to Uniqlo recently. Also, I don't want to talk about stores anymore. But I did go to Uniqlo, and I was walking through there. And for those of you that have been to Uniqlo, you know that Uniqlo has a pretty big sock wall where it's a bunch of different colors. And they're all pretty cheap. I don't know. But there's one sock that I care about, and it's just the black Argyle sock. And it's slightly more expensive than the socks on the other side. And it's like they know exactly what I want, and they're intentionally pricing me out of it. It's so cruel. I love Argyle socks. But that's the thing. The thing is, you can like go on like wish.com or whatever like bootleg like backwater warehouse website, and you type in Argyle socks, and it pulls up a lot of like janky, ugly Argyle socks. I don't really want the Argyle socks that have like teal or purple or blue. I just want very regular monochromatic Argyle socks, and for whatever reason, that is like the hardest thing to find sometimes. Everybody loves Argyle, everybody loves flannel, but nobody really wants to produce it in monochromatic patterns. Anyways, I'm glad your mom shops on Wish. I don't, Liana. But I think it's because I don't understand Wish. Wish is as complicated to me as Twitch is, actually. Where when I go and I look at it, there isn't just simply a buy button in it to make it... It's like there's a lot of stuff happening on screen, and I always kind of feel like I'm getting scammed. Some websites just have a way of like making you feel like a scam is currently happening. And Wish feels like I'm being scammed. Wish's website feels like a pop-up. It feels like adware somehow. Anyways, Naga says purple is neat. I wish I liked purple. I've been told by several people that I look good in purple. I used to have a couple of purple things, but not anymore. I know there's a way to shop on Wish responsibly, but it's definitely sketchy, says Explosion. It's a lot of knockoff stuff. I mean, for sure. And I like knockoff stuff, but something about that site just feels weird. Feels weird. Like I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, which, you know, no one likes. I've never even gone to their site because of that, says Liana. Which feels like a back alley deal, says Wirt. Yeah. Speaking of back alleys, there's a place in Los Angeles called Santee Alley. Santee Alley. And it is in the fashion district, which is where all of our knockoff things are sold. That's where I got my fake Yeezys. That's where a lot of people get like their fake Supreme fits. Lots of really cool stuff there. I also have, I've bought a lot of things there. That's the point of this story. All of my watches, my nice watches, come from Santee Alley. And something about walking through a series of alleys, and there's people screaming, and there's bubbles. There's a lot of time there's bubbles, I'm not joking. And there's dogs, and there's fighting, and there's haggling. It makes me feel so calm. It makes me feel like I'm in a good environment. It's what I imagine Diagon Alley is like from Harry Potter, except instead of magic, they're selling, you know, like Tommy Hilfiger duffel bags that like clearly aren't Tommy Hilfiger. Clearly, you can't buy a Tommy Hilfiger duffel bag for $9, but they have them, and I appreciate that. AliExpress is where I'm scared to buy from for this reason. AliExpress and Wish are kind of the same thing to me. But I'm sure I see them as the same thing because I don't use either one of them. That happened to me, actually, Jaime. Jaime says, I feel like you go to Wish after placing an order, you'll go back and the website won't be up anymore. The website that I bought my Little Caesars... I have a Little Caesars hat. I don't wear it, but I bought a Little Caesars hat from that website. I bought a Little Caesars water bottle, and I don't think I bought my beach towel, but there's another Little Caesars. Basically, it was like a Little Caesars merch site, and I went there and I bought all this Little Caesars stuff, and it didn't show up. It was actually pretty scary. Like, it didn't show up, and I had spent, like, I want to say, like, $45, $50 on it, which, you know, maybe isn't a lot of money to some people, but that's significant. That was significant for me. So I was like, okay, well, should I try to contact customer service or something like that? And I went back to the site, and it just wouldn't load. It was like, this site doesn't exist or whatever. I got like a little error message, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is where I bought it from. And I went to like my email where I got the confirmation of the order having taken place. And the email had that website on it, and I just copy and pasted that website into the freaking address bar, and it still brought up nothing. And I was like, oh, did I get scammed? Did like some Little Caesars like shell company just like scam me for $50? But I was like, you know what, whatever. Like, I guess that's my bad. I'll just chalk it up to a loss and move on with my life. And no joke, like a wild amount of time later, I want to say like 5-6 months later, the stuff showed up. Like all the Little Caesars merch stuff showed up. And I tried to go back to the site again, still wouldn't open up anything, but at least my stuff showed up, so I guess I wasn't scammed. But the site is down. And Leon says it happened to me with buying a Miku figure. Speaking of Miku, I need to get the new pack of songs for Project Diva. Oh crap. Another song I forgot. I think all of the songs that were on, what's it called? Tall Tales, because that's where that song's from. All the songs that were on Tall Tales were made with very different moods involved. And I recently, while I was working on the alerts, I was listening to Bon Bon. Not the entire song all the way through. Hold on. Jaime says, what difficulty do you play on? It depends on what song. The difficulty in Project Diva is really unreliable, almost like some Bimani games that I won't mention. But it's like really unreliable. So you'll play one song at like hard, I guess, and you're like, oh, I guess I'm good enough to play songs at hard because you're like playing through all the songs at hard and it's fine. And then you'll get to like one song that on hard is like unbearable, like it's inhuman levels of difficult. And so it kind of depends on the song that I'm playing. But I will say there's like extreme, I think, like whatever the red difficulty is, I can play like 10 songs at that difficulty, but everything else at the difficulty is pretty much unplayable. I'm like right under whatever the like bright red one is. I'm directly under that one. Anyways, that game is pretty fun. I was playing a piano rhythm game called Demo earlier. I've never played that. I've never played that before. I've never even heard of that. Piano rhythm game. Sounds fun. Sounds like something I would like, or something that I would at least be halfway decent at. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of what Zia is doing, because Zia's... I'm going to try not to talk too much about the plants in the stream, but this particular like weird one, if it doesn't get watered or whatever in a decent amount of time, obviously the fronds, like, you know, they wilt a little bit, except for this one. This one always is sticking straight up, no matter how like dead and everything it looks. Everything like wilts, but then that one is standing straight up. And there's kind of two, and it goes off at this like really weird angle. And what are they called? Staghorn ferns. Hi, Taylor Nicole. Staghorn ferns like grow something called a shield frond. I'm already sick of talking about this. They have two different types of leaves. They have leaves that go up, and then they have leaves that go down and hug their butt. And mine is not old enough to have butt hug leaves yet. And so I've been monitoring it, figuring out when exactly that is supposed to happen. But there is wildly... What's the word? Wildly contradicting testimonies of people that have owned and raised staghorn ferns. So the internet is, as usual, extremely unreliable. Thank you, Kaz, for liking the name Zia. Zia actually comes from a record store. There's a place there's a chain in Arizona called Zia Records, which is where I got all of my music from for a really, really long time. And you know what? I kind of miss that. It's not like I can't do that anymore. It's not like it's impossible to buy records. You can buy records. Any of us can buy records. But there was kind of this really cool practice. I remember going into... I'm going to set the stage. I remember going into a place called... Ash Ave Comics. And it was called that because it was on Ash Avenue. But I remember going into Ash Ave Comics and hearing music. This would happen several times. Just like I'm like chilling, I'm looking at comics. I remember this specific day because there was a girl that worked there that had red hair that I was really into at the time. And I remember there being a display of action figures from the comic book Umbrella Academy, which I purchased and are in my living room right now. But I remember looking at that and there was a song playing. And I said, what is this? This is really cool. And she was like, oh, this is Midnight Juggernauts. And I walked next door, which is where Zia Records was, and purchased the Midnight Juggernauts album, and listened to it. Like, that's all I listened to that week. And that constantly happened. I would go into this comic book shop, and she would be playing, wow. She kind of like, I guess, she like curated my music taste for at least 6 months to a year, at least a semester. But for a pretty long time, yeah, she would be playing something, and I'm like, what is this? This is amazing. She was like, oh, this is Shoujo Skip. For those of you that don't know what Shoujo Skip is, it's like a shoegaze band in Japan that like is barely even active, like definitely not big enough to come up here. I don't even know how she was finding this music. But she was always playing really cool stuff, and then I would go next door and get the thing. And sometimes it was like more popular, pop-centric, foreign rock music, like like the wombats, and sometimes it was like really weird stuff. Sometimes she would play something and I would go next door and they wouldn't even have it. They wouldn't even know what I was talking about. Shoto Skip is great, says Wirt. Wow, Wirt knows what Shoto Skip is. I wasn't expecting anybody, so thank you, Wirt. I wasn't expecting anybody to know what Shoto Skip was. That's wild. I even feel like when I search up Shoto Skip now, it's like the internet is like, what are you talking about? Like the search engine is just like, I don't know what, is that a band? I've never heard of them. Sandasty says, yeah, I've got the reborn version of Steam and on Steam, and I've been playing, and I've just been playing it on desktop mode instead of VR. There's a VR mode? Whoa, and Jaime knows who they're... Whoa, is Shoto Skip really big? Is Shoto Skip actually... Is Shoto Skip like Asian Kung Fu generation and just like I think they're small? Like, hey guys, I have this like really, really underground, little known artist, Japanese artist called Perfume, and nobody else seems to know who they are. I had some shoegaze phases, says Wirt. Well, that's fair. I guess if you have a shoegaze phase, there are like there's a diagram around at least 30 bands that I feel like can be drawn. In the same way as if you had like a math rock phase, there is a diagram around 30-ish bands that can be drawn. Both of these diagrams are surprisingly pretty highly populated with Japanese acts. Japan does math rock and shoegaze very well. Oh, this is garbage truck number 3. This is garbage truck number 3. I don't... Oh, this is gonna be a doozy, guys. I'm sorry. The 3 one has the big fork teeth, and he picks up the big dumpster, the metal one. So it's a little bit noisier than the guy with the claw. I hadn't heard the name in a while, says Wirt. Yeah. Math rock and shoegaze arguably are on two very, very opposite sides of the spectrum of like music. One being very dreamy and light, and the other one being very... Thank you, Explosion. One being very dreamy and light, and the other one being more... hectic? Hectic and rhythmly complicated. But I very rarely run into people who don't like both. Usually if somebody likes math rock, I will suggest them a shoegaze act and they'll also like it. And vice versa. Usually if somebody's a big shoegaze head and I'm like, oh, you should listen to like Tricot, they usually end up liking it. I also found that I was one of the only people I knew that called it Trico. There's a band, Tricot, like a Japanese math rock band, and I always pronounced it Trico. And I'm not exactly sure why I pronounced it that. Like, a Japanese band, like, nothing about it implied that would be the pronunciation. I'm trying to think of, I guess the name Margot has a T at the end of it that's silent. It's like a French side of me. Maybe I was pronouncing it in a French way. Looks like a French word. Anyways, where else says Tricot, or Trico? I was looking at Tricot earlier, or Trico. Says Sandasty. I've never heard them say their name out loud, so I'm gonna keep saying Tricot because my friends make fun of me for saying Trico. But they do have some very great music, and they release very, very often. A lot of Japanese acts are like that, I've noticed. They release, it's like a sea of singles, like and it's not like new because of streaming or anything. They've just been doing that for a really long time. And I always, as like a high school student, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world because then I didn't have to wait for a very long time for the next like Perfume single or something like that. But I think that's right. Oh, Tree Coat? Tree Coat? Whoa, so both of mine were wrong. I have to fuse them. So it's not Tricot or Trico. It's Tree Coat. Why? What the heck does that even mean? Does it mean anything? Probably not. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell people to listen to those. There's a system. There's a system to the songs that I recommend. The songs that at least there's a system to the songs I'm supposed to recommend. Oh, I'm supposed to go to news.
Time to do the news. I think it's time to do the news.
wanted to wait until after the garbage truck. I wanted to wait until after the garbage truck left, but he's still got one more bin. He's still got one more bin. Garbage trucks are wild, man. It's wild to think that all that has to rest on just some car wheels. Garbage truck drivers actually get paid pretty well. You don't even need to put actually in front of that. I do remember, I think we all remember learning that garbage men make a lot of money. The time that I learned that garbage men made a lot of money is when I was in school, and he wasn't my friend, but another classmate had a father who was a garbage man, and he did very well. It's so funny that I guess because it's a service job, or maybe it's because the word garbage is in the popular name for the occupation, but I don't know, there does seem to be an assumption that the people don't do very well, but they seem to do great. My mom was a crossing guard, but she was just a volunteer. How do I get to do that? How do I do that? By the way, how do I would actually like to do that. I would like to do that, not because I have a lot of patience or because I like hanging out with kids, but I think I specifically want to be a crossing guard because I remember loving crossing guards when I was in school. They all seem to have a very similar, at least in my life, I don't know, I know everybody's different, but in my specific life and in my neighborhood, the crossing guards always had a very specific quality about them, which was like, they all seemed hardened by life. Again, at least all of mine. They all seemed very tough, and they would make jokes that I knew were funny in some adult way, but I didn't get them, so I would just kind of laugh. I was like, I want to be that guy. Plus, all the power of the stop sign. Speaking of crosswalks, though, I live pretty close to oh, I'm sorry, I'm in news. No, that has to go to the checking in segment. We've passed the time for that. So if I'm gonna go over news, thank you, Cyber. Thank you. I'm glad. I don't want skipped frames. I would like my frames to remain solid, if I can help it. I actually restarted this stream because the frames were skipping pretty bad in the very beginning, and the garbage truck is now leaving, so I feel I can get into the news. So, first order of news is some things were added to the stream. Maybe there are some things that you guys noticed, maybe there are some things that you guys didn't notice, and there's going to be changes probably still made for the next week or two, or at least the brunt of the changes happening. So, it just says Omni tokens. Yeah, so that was one of the changes that was made. So I did add some things, and we'll continue to do so for the next few days. If you have noticed something about the stream that you hate, I said this in season 2, but I meant it. If there's something in the stream that you hate, or there's something that you're still saying that's like, I would like this to be better, my viewing experience is being diminished to some degree, let me know. I mean, obviously I can't, change everything, but I can see what I can do and try to make it a better viewing experience for you and the other people in the stream. But that's it as far as news on the stream stuff. This Friday, for anybody who's not familiar, is the production stream. I do a production stream from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Fridays, and we're bringing that back. Most of the changes for the stream, you all, are here. They're here. The Friday stream was like kind of already fun for me as it was, and there wasn't that much changes that needed to happen to that. So the Friday stream is kind of season 2's Friday stream for the most part. I got the same setup, everything else is fly. The Monday through Thursday stuff, that's where a lot of the changes happen. So just a heads up, it's not going to be any... I'm not doing the Friday stream from here. There's nothing weird happening. But that's it. Also, as far as songs, the way we did the Friday streams last season is it was very free form, and I would take like samples in from people and work with them. However, the main change that's going to be happening to this season's Friday stream is there's going to be a little bit more structure around like when I'm taking the samples or in the 6 hour time span of what exactly I'm working on. So those changes are going to be made. However, unlike this the piano version of the stream, unlike this side, a lot of those changes are things that I'm going to have to stream through in order to kind of feel them out, while these changes that you guys are seeing now are more visual, you know. And so that is the news for the Friday stream. I do like the sword. I do like the sword. It's nice. Thank you, Double Do. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. I can't hear him anymore. I can't hear him. Maybe I accidentally muted him. Oh! Yeah, I fixed that, by the way. For the production stream, the focus, I did fix that. That is fixed. I fixed it actually... Crap, you know what? I wasn't streaming then. I fixed it right before I did my interview with Mark Redito, but I realized when I did that interview, I was already on hiatus maybe, or pretty close to it. I fixed it before that interview, so yeah, the focus is better now. Yeah, I'll fix the sounds on the alerts. My bad. I'm sorry. Where did I get this dope shirt? Oh, wow. You actually asked an amazing question. Because if you asked it about most of my other shirts, the answer would be pretty boring. But I got this shirt from a store in Leicester, England. And the store was called... It's like a version of what we have here. What do we have here? What's our store? What's ours called? It's not Ross, but it's this thing. Oh my god. Yes! Yes, Double 2, TK Maxx! Yes, it's like TJ Maxx here, but it's TK Maxx, and in my opinion, the clothes are way better. Anyways, yeah, not Marshalls. I was in Leicester, England, and hanging out with a friend, and she had to go to work. And I could tell she felt bad. I like that she felt bad. But I could tell she felt bad because she was like, there's nothing really fun to do here. It's like a college town, and I'm going to go to work, so I don't know. There's a grocery store here. There's like a Sainsbury's over there. There's a TK Maxx here. And I was like, what the heck is a TK Maxx? And she was like, it's just like TJ Maxx in America. And I was like, oh, sick. And I went into TK Maxx, and I bought this shirt and one more that's still in my closet. It was amazing. They had a whole section that was just button-ups, and they were all black and white. And I, like, lost it. It was great. Anyways, that is where this shirt came from. I don't know when I'll ever find a shirt like this again. It has pineapples on it, which is something that I didn't notice until I wore this shirt to Comic-Con in 2012, maybe? 12, 11? No. 12, 13, 11, 12, 11, 12, 13. Sometime in those 3 years I wore it to Comic-Con. And somebody, I was in a panel for Psych, if anybody remembers the show Psych. And in that show, for whatever reason, I can't remember, the pineapple was like their logo. It was like a very important piece of iconography about the show. There was always pineapple stuff, and people thought that I was wearing it on purpose to the Psych panel, and they were like, oh, that's nice, there's pineapples on it. And I was like, really? I thought it was flowers. And I looked at it real close for the first time ever after having worn it for several years, and I was like, oh, There's pineapples on it for some reason. It's truly a Hawaiian shirt. Truly a monochromatic Bahama Mama. But yes. Yes, I think